G'day and welcome to this edition of the COLAC Herald Sports Smash. I'm Lachlan, Cowlishaw. Beside me is Ben Martin, as always, and we've got a lot of football and netball action to get through, as always. Let's not muck around, let's get stuck into the GFL footy action, I believe.
That's it, we're kicking off with the COLAC Tigers this week, who recorded their second win of the season in dominant fashion at Central Reserve, much to the delight of the home fans, I suppose. They defeated Leopold 27-15, 177-9, 66. 6 goals to none, really set the tone for this one in the first quarter, and it just went from there for the Tigers. Jake McGuan kicked 7 goals, Kane Leeson 4, Andrew Kelly and Jake Carmody 3 goals. Jake Carmody obviously first game back from that kidney injury, while the Tigers' best were Lockie Veal, Kelly and Leeson. For Leopold, Greg Hardy kicked 3 goals and a best on ground performance. Won't talk too much about them. Into this COLAC District Football League news action now. Some big news at Birregurra, who defeated Apollo Bay 21-16, 142-8-5, 53 at Apollo Bay Recreation Reserve. The Saints have signed former GFL star Tim McLean. He comes with pretty big raps, so I'm pretty excited to see what he can do at CDFL level. He's in his sort of early 30s, so we'll see how he goes at this level. He kicked 3 goals at the weekend, while Christian Kelly kicked 6 goals and Zach Day kicked 3. While for the best players for the Saints were Luke Phillips, Mick Davis and Christian Kelly. For Apollo Bay, Josh and Jake Cooper, the brothers, kicked 2 goals each, while Dean Sheets, Jeremy Ellis and Marty White were Apollo Bay's best. The next game, Alvey has claimed another major scalp, defeating South COLAC 10-8, 68-5, 32 at Eliminites Joiner Reserve. Mitch Williamson kicked 3 goals, while Danny Allen, Daniel O'Shea and Aidan Spence were the Swans' best. For South COLAC, Fred Nordige, I think that's how you pronounce it, was probably a standout in this one. He kicked all of the Roos 5 goals to be among the best players, with Todd Bornett and Daniel Roberts. Simpson has claimed the Heytesbury Shield against their former Heytesbury Football League opponents, Otway District 17-11, 113-13, 10-88 at Gellibrand Recreation Reserve. Nick Harding kicked 5 goals for the winners, while Corey Bolsh, who was in dominant form, he was the best on-ground player, while Chester Gardner and Stephen McCallum were good. For Otway Districts, Ross Panther kicked 5 goals, while Luke Burnett, Panther and Jordan Spriggs were the Demons' best in this one. The next game, COLAC Imperials have survived a scare from Illawarra Biak just before their ball on Saturday night. But the Bombers led by a point at 3/4 time, but the Imps bounced back in the fourth quarter to win 17-13, 115-12, 79 at Illawarra Recreation Reserve. Tyson Finnegan kicked 3 goals to be among the best players, with Simon Scott and Adrian Murray for the Imps, while for Illawarra Biak, Jared Stinchcombe kicked 3 goals, while the best players were Daniel Smith, Paul Stinchcombe and Jake Hewland. And in the final CFL football game of the weekend, Lorne has survived a tough clash with Western Eagles, with both teams under demand. Read more about that in today's COLAC Herald. The Lorne defeated Western Eagles 13-16-94 to 8-4-52 at Lorne's Stribling Reserve. Luke Norton kicked 7 goals for the Dolphins, while Shea Turner, Ryan Heathcote and Kyle Holmer were the Dolphins' best. For Western Eagles, Joel Risk was the only real forward to I suppose, fire up in this one. He kicked 4 goals, while Eamon Johnson, Justin McPhee and Matt Kenny were the Eagles' best. Forest had the bye at the weekend, so that wraps up football. Look, outstanding stuff there, Ben. Let's get stuck into the netball. I will start with the GFL game down at COLAC Central Reserve. It was Leopold taking on COLAC, and unfortunately the footy players got over the line. The COLAC Tigers netball players couldn't get the win. It was a very physically demanding clash. Leopold got the win 58-39 in the end. The Tigers, of course, not helped by a groin injury to Shelley Scott before the match, so they had to do a bit of a reshuffle there. Georgia Berry scored 20 goals. Emily Murphy scored 19 for the Tigers, while for Leopold, Rachel King had 42 goals. The best players were for COLAC were Sarah Hay, Kelsey Lang and Chelsea Hillman. Into COLAC District Netball news now, and prepare yourselves for some close games. There were 3 of them. Count them. 1, 2, 3. Get ready for this. Here we go. South COLAC versus Elvey was not a close game. South COLAC won 58-20 in the end. It was the biggest win of the round. Nicole Mitchell on song with 33 goals. Tegan McNamara having a great season, 25 goals for the Roos. While for Elvey, Ashley Mead and Morgan Drayton scored 10 goals each. The best players were Mitchell for South COLAC and Ashley Mead for Elvey.
Apollo Bay versus Birregurra. Was this a close game? It was a very close game. It was a draw. Apollo Bay and Birregurra finished on a 41-goal draw down at Apollo Bay Recreation Reserve. The Saints came back from a 4-goal deficit at 3/4 time to get their 3rd draw of the season. That might hurt their finals chances. Kat Spears for Apollo Bay had 26 goals. Jessica Whedon, great season. She's having 21 goals for the Saints. Spears was the best player for Apollo Bay, and for Birregurra, it was Jess Whedon. The next game we have for you now is Western Eagles taking on Lorne. Another close one, as I said. The Eagles got over the line by 2 goals, 39-37 against the Dolphins. Sarah Anderson, a young player playing well for the Eagles, 23 goals. Jenny Fish, 16. For Lorne, Carly Entercott had 24 goals, while the best players were Ali Genua for the Eagles and Caitlin Cross for the Dolphins. We crossed to Illawarra Biak versus COLAC Imperials, a grand final rematch, and it played out similar to last year's grand final. The Imps getting over the line 55-34, so a pretty comfortable win in the end. Rebecca Scott, 50 goals if you don't mind, 50 goals out of 55, pretty impressive effort. Candy Robbins had 5. Taryn Tom, Illawarra Biak's recruit, had 19. The best players were Scott, Sarah Higgins and Alicia Walters for the Imps, while for Illawarra Biak it was Alyssa Roger, Taryn Tom and Coach Narelle Frith. In the final game we have for you before the COLAC Herald Sports Person of the Week, it's Otway Districts taking on Simpson, and Otway have continued a winning streak, 4 wins in a row if you don't mind. Close game, 36-35 down at Jelly Brown Recreation Reserve. Mahalia Hodgson, 20 goals. Jane Robertson, 16 goals. They did this without star recruit Simone Hickman, so a great effort there by the Demons. Sophie Cronin had 18 for the Tigers, while the best players were Emma Craddock for Otway Districts, and Kelly Powell, who came back from injury and played well for Simpson. Now it's time for our favourite part of the show, the COLAC Herald Sports Person of the Week. This week, Ben, we've given it to a netballer.
That's right, we've given it to a footballer the past few weeks, but we couldn't look past this COLAC Imperials netballer. She's a representative netballer. She's played at high levels. Who is it, Luke?
It's Rebecca Scott. She scored 50 goals on the weekend. She's up over 330 goals for the season. She's averaging 42 goals a game. Dominant, as I was saying to a couple of the coaches at the weekend. She doesn't get any shorter as the game goes on. So she's a dominant force in the league, and well done for winning the COLAC Herald Sports Person of the Week. And that wraps it up from Ben and I. We will catch you next week, and make sure you read Wednesday's edition of the COLAC Herald. See you later.
Bye.